Greetings and welcome back to my channel. Unfortunately, today is not as happy of a day nor as happy of a video as it could be. Unfortunately, our Senate has decided to undo centuries of tradition, completely undermine the intentions of the Founding Fathers, and eliminate what little vestiges of bipartisanship, democracy, and liberty we the people have and protected by the Constitution of the United States. They finally decided to take the nuclear option, which means instead of requiring 60 Senate votes to approve a Supreme Court justice, now they only need a simple majority, 50 plus 1. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that your vote, your voice, has been crushed. It has been crushed underhand by the very men and women who already hold office and who have already held power for so very long. These are the same men and women who said that the President, Obama, did not have the right or the privilege of appointing a Supreme Court justice. I'd like to read from the Constitution of the United States itself exactly what the President of the United States is allowed to do concerning a Supreme Court justice. He shall have power, by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, to make treaties, provide 2/3 of the senators present concur. And he shall nominate, and by and with the advice and consent of the Senate, shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court, and all other officers of the United States whose appointments are not herein otherwise provided for, and which shall be established by law. So President Obama was well within his right to appoint a Supreme Court justice with the consent of Senate. And yet, the Senate abjectly refused to take that nomination into consideration. And now, when they are facing opposition themselves, something that has, of course, stood the test of time and has repeated itself throughout our history, there has always been debate of who should get nominated, who should be sitting down. That's why they've gone from far left to far right to moderate and moderate and moderate. Yet now they're not even willing to play the game by their own rules. They're willing to change the rules at our misfortune. And so today we have a Senate that is ruled by a majority of Republicans that can now nominate and pass the nomination of Gorsuch as our new Supreme Court justice. The ramifications of that decision will be felt not just immediately, but for generations to come. Because this man is now appointed for life, with very little constitutional authority to remove such a person from that position. And so when we put Gorsuch in office as a Supreme Court justice, because of the corruption and the underhanded tactics of a Senate that will get reelected or that will get replaced or that will get changed, by a president's administration that will also follow the same inevitable change in removal and replacement, we are left with the poor decisions, the heinous atrocities that was just enacted by our elected leadership without the consent of the American people, and in fact, in spite of their opposition to such things. Ladies and gentlemen, our liberty and our freedom has never been threatened in this way since the Revolutionary War. We have never come this close to fragmentation and destruction, of straight up dissolution of common diplomatic, democratic, bipartisan, what have you, political structure and well-being than we are today. The Civil War didn't even go to this degree in terms of undermining the Constitution. Not even the Civil War. And now we are faced with not only a Supreme Court justice who does undermine women's rights, who does undermine voting rights, that undermines everything that regular people hold near and dear to their hearts, is being threatened. Not only that, but they will be there, a thorn in our side for decades to come. And the precedent has been set that whoever holds the majority can strong-arm their way into whatever judicial, whatever other branch that they want. that those in power are now the ones who can maintain and control the power. And with an upcoming census, which will allow the redistricting of districts all across the country, they are now even more poised than ever before to further increase and further entrench the gerrymandering, the entrenchment of these positions that have no risk of being challenged, which is completely undermining the democratic process. The term limits, as it were, should be the will of the people. But it doesn't matter if these districts are redrawn to match whatever constituency group tends to come out and vote for them. Not only that, coupled with low voter turnout year after year, this is only going to be a problem that'll be multiplied and added upon year after year, time after time. So we are heading more so now towards a true fascism, a true oligarchy, a true disestablishment of what our Constitution and what our country stands for and how it was founded. So today is the day that I urge each and every single one of you to call your senator, to email them, to fax them, to do whatever it is you have to do to tell them unequivocally, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that we the people do not approve of this, that we do not approve of the nuclear option, that we do not approve of Gorsuch, that we do not approve of undermining the intentions of the Constitution for personal political gain, and that we will not stand idly by and allow this to continue, that we will stand up, we will organize, and we ourselves will run for office, and we will primary you in your places of power and defeat you, replace you, and dismantle everything that you have done to undermine the Constitution and our will, that of the people. Thank you for watching.